wil je het invloeden van, dat weet je meer. Ik zie allerlei cameramannen, kijk, hier komt er weer eentje langs, ook allemaal goed bezig. Ik heb net een aantal mensen.
Bon alors, si on sait pas, on n'a pas répondu.
Wat ik. Aangaat.
Nee, home international.
Wat?
Home international.
maar goed, er is wat voor mij. Wat?
Eigenlijk als beste zetten. Nee.
s'approche pour connaître toutes les personnes qui vont parler aujourd'hui. Merci de s'approcher. Merci beaucoup. My name is Emmanuel Tamames. Although my name is not important, just to be presenting the people coming here, I'm come from Spain, and it is an important day before the elections we're having on the different people that will be delivering the different speeches for us to know how the situation we're going through and which are the possibilities we have in order to improve that bad situation.
We are very happy and more than pleased to welcome all of you guys today and all the farmers around and across Europe, farmers from the Netherlands, from Germany, from Poland, Spain, Italy, Romania, Belgium, and more of those. And we are very, very pleased to have you here today. We are here gathered to stand for our rights, for farmer rights, to be able to do our work to feed the Europe.
We want to thank you all coming from so far away, who have left your families, your kids, your grandparents, the elder people, your businesses, your animals, your fields, which have made an effort from your pockets in order to be here and raise your voice for everybody to know what's the situation we're going through. It's not only a question of the primary sector, it's a question of all the populations, because you are the guys that with your labor and your work help to fill the fridges and the storages of every people, giving the health food in order to have things.
You see a lot of tractors, a lot of people, all of the atomium is filled with tractors, the pictures will go worldwide. Your presence here today shows the immense strength and determination we have to stand up for the rights of our future. We stand together, united, in our fight against injustice inflicted upon us by rigid legislations and the lack of understanding of our sector. Today here, we make our voices heard and we make it clear that we will no longer be pushed aside. With the elections approaching, it is crucial that our voices are heard. The Green Deal and the Nature Restoration Law are measures that are disproportionately impacting our sector. It is evident that these laws were designed without sufficient consideration of the realities of the challenges of the farmers that we face daily. We, the farmers, are the stewards of the land. We care for our nature reserves. We produce high-quality local food. However, our efforts are being undermined by politicians who threaten our future and our rights to exist. We say, enough is enough.
Bravo!
It is time for the policymakers to realize that rules designed to control the masses will break the pearls of the society. And those pearls are us, the farmers. Here to send you a message. We will fight for our rights, for our businesses, and for our future, and for the food security of Europe. And with the elections approaching, we have the power to bring change. Together we stand strong, together we will prevail, for ourselves, for our children, and for a fair and sustainable agricultural policy. I will thank you all, and let's make this day unforgettable. And the last thing I want to say, in the winter's chill and the summer's heat, it's the farmer that makes you eat. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you very much. What an award you have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jos. Another group is a group of Polish farmers. There is few organizations coming from Poland, so they will speak in Polish as they communicate into Polish farmers and to Polish media. And let me welcome them. Hello, guys.
Dzień dobry. Drodzy Państwo, witamy się jako Polacy. Cieszę się, że możemy być razem dzisiaj wszyscy w Belgii. Drodzy Państwo, generalnie my jako rolnicy Unii Europejskiej rywalizujemy ze sobą, ale w czasie kryzysu, w czasie kiedy przeciwnik jest ten sam, a naszym przeciwnikiem są obecnie głupie, błędne i niszczące. Drodzy Państwo, przede wszystkim z tego, że nie jestem tutaj sama. Jestem z naszymi przyjaciółmi,
które są tutaj w Belgii, nie nas, tylko Europę w Belgii, tu gdzie się decyduje o ważnych, decydujących zmianach i ustawach, które obowiązują w całej Europie. Proszę Państwa, my Polacy i cała Europa nie godzimy się na to, żeby ściągać z innych krajów artykuły rolno-spożywcze, a nie dbać o nasze gospodarstwa, ograniczać je do bardzo wysokich, drastycznych przepisów, a tak naprawdę spoza Unii nie dotyczą te przepisy i są całkiem inne standardy. Na to się nie godzimy. Nie godzimy się za wycofywaniem środków ochrony roślin. Nie godzimy się, żeby były przepisy, które są bardzo absurdalne, bym powiedział. Do tego nie możemy dopuścić. Dlatego, moi drodzy, jesteśmy 20 lat w Unii. Mieliśmy my, Polacy, po 10 latach mieć jednakowe przepisy w całej Unii, a tak nie jest. Dążmy do tego, żeby tak było. I żeby dbać o całą Unię Europejską, najpierw Unia Europejska, a dopiero inne kraje. Dziękuję ślicznie wszystkim za to, że jesteście tutaj. Wszystkich Wam dziękuję. Dojedźcie z powrotem po tym odbytym proteście do domów. Oddaję głos innym. Dziękuję ślicznie, pozdrawiam Was serdecznie.
Dzisiaj musimy protestować przeciwko tym wszystkim złym założeniom. My jako Polacy mamy i zbieramy podpisy pod referendum przeciwko Zielonemu Ładowi, żeby powiedzieć stanowcze nie, żeby powiedzieć koniec temu dyktatowi i tej zielonej komunie, która do nas przyszła. My jako Polacy walczyliśmy na początku z czerwoną komuną, która była u nas, a teraz musimy walczyć z tą zieloną komuną, która do nas dociera, która niszczy nasze gospodarstwa, gospodarstwa rodzinne, gospodarstwa wielopokoleniowe. Musimy powiedzieć stanowcze nie. Chłopi europejscy razem!
Dzień dobry Państwu. My jako polscy rolnicy od pierwszych dni protestów wyszliśmy na ulicę z 3 głównymi postulatami. Po pierwsze, jest to ochrona jakiejkolwiek hodowli zwierząt. Po drugie, głęboka reforma założeń Zielonego Ładu. Po trzecie, ochrona rynku wspólnotowego, czyli nie godzimy się na to, że nam politycy europejscy narzucają coraz więcej restrykcji, przez to produkujemy z każdym rokiem coraz drożej, a w tym samym czasie dopuszcza się produkty rolno-spożywcze spoza Unii Europejskiej, z krajów trzecich, I jak my mamy?
Chłopi razem! Chłopi razem! Chłopi razem! Dawać wszyscy Polacy, głośno!
Chłopi
Żeby nas było wszędzie słychać! Chłopi razem! Chłopi razem! Chłopi razem! Dziękuję.
It's mean farmers together.
Witam wszystkich rolników, którzy tutaj przybyli. My, jako Polacy, przyjechaliśmy reprezentować nie tylko Polskę, ale wszystkich rolników. Bardzo się cieszę, że przyjechali koledzy moi z Belgii, z Holandii. Z nimi rozmawiałem. Polityka, którą Bruksela chce nam teraz zafundować, uderza nie tylko w nas, polskich rolników, ale uderza również w was. To my mamy blisko granicę z Ukrainą i to oni nas najbardziej niszczą. Otworzyli granicę naszą, nikt ich nie strzeże. To nasi chłopi stali przez pół roku i pilnowali, żeby te produkty nie wjeżdżały do Unii Europejskiej. To nam się narzuca dyrektywy, które nas cały czas dzielą i wykańczają. Ukraina tego nie musi stosować. Cieszy mnie to, że przybyliście tutaj i pokazujecie eurokratom, że my nie będziemy się na to godzić. Pamiętajcie, musimy trzymać się razem i wygramy tę wojnę. Będzie nas tylko więcej. Cieszę się, że tu jestem. Pozdrawiam całą Europę.
Polish, or maybe in south of Spain with Morocco. These are where the real borders are. Thank you, Polish guys.
Thank you so much. Another speaker is Christian Terhesh, European Conservative Member of the Parliament from Romania. Hello.
Thank you, guys. It is a great pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for being here from all across Europe. Look what is happening today. In the middle of the week, instead of working your land, you had to come from all over Europe, here in Brussels, to defend your land. Here in Brussels, starting with 3 years ago, thousands, tens of thousands, even over 100,000 people protested on these streets, even here in this park, defending their right to freedom, the right to freely go and work where they want, the right to enter a hospital or a restaurant. And that's when the tyranny started. The head of this tyrannical European government is Ursula von der Leyen. Yeah, right. Few days from now, citizens of the European Union all across want that anymore, not only in Eastern Europe, but even in Western Europe. What I saw happening in Netherlands, when the Dutch government pretty much confiscated the land of so many farmers. My parents and my grandparents told us that the same thing happened in my country in the beginning of 1950, 1960. We should not allow that to happen anymore in Europe. Ursula von der Leyen, as I used to call her, lied to the European Parliament and lied to the citizens of the European Union, claiming that the so-called vaccines are safe and effective. And now we see the effect of those vaccines. People are suffering injuries. Some people who were vaccinated or injected with those medical products even died. But she lied to everybody when she claimed in 2019 that she will be pushing for the so-called Green Deal. You heard of it, right? It's a bad deal. That's not a Green Deal. It's a bad deal. It's a bad deal for Europe. It's a bad deal for farmers. It's a bad deal for all the citizens of Europe. not forget, united we stand, united we fight, and united we win. Thank you so much. God bless you. And make sure that until Sunday, you send Ursula von der Leyen out of Brussels. God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it? Thank you. Thank you very much. All these brave Romanians that have been fighting communists and now are fighting for our rights and our goods. Thank you very much, lads. Thank you very much.
Okay, our next speaker is a very special person to us in Poland, as she is not only the person who fights for farmers' rights for many years now, but she is also a farmer itself. Ania Bryłka from Confederation, the Polish candidate to be MP Parliament.
Dear farmers from all over Europe, at the beginning I would like to tell you thank you. I thank you for your work. Every day you deliver to us our food security. Now everything is being destroyed. Raising and rearing animals in Europe is reduced, restricted and controlled. This in turn is leading to the liquidation of European animal farming. This union policy has destroyed European farming. Today, we protest to stop this destructive policy. We are fighting for European food security. We are fighting on behalf of all consumers and every European who will be touched by the new provisions. All that the farmers want is to work and produce food peacefully, without any unhealthy restrictions. It's the basic target. We are a few days before the European election, and we need people who in the European Parliament will be representing traditional European values. People who will be the farmers' voice in European institutions. And we will win. No farmers, no food. A szczególnie witam rolników z Polski. Drodzy rolnicy, szanowni państwo, nie dajcie się oszukać. Nie dajcie się oszukać. W tej The Green Deal leads to rainforest clearing as necessary food production is relocated. We, the farmers of the European Union, demand the absolute protection of the European Union's internal market. We strongly oppose the import of food from regions outside the EU that do not meet our high production and animal welfare standards. We also strongly oppose the hundreds of millions of euros the EU spends on farms outside of the EU to make us suffer. We, the farmers of the European Union, demand protection and support of the European livestock and breeding sector. Livestock production guarantees the stability of crop production and food security. As demand remains, a reduction in EU livestock will only lead to relocation of food production to less sustainable regions outside the EU. We, the farmers of the EU, demand the absolute protection of the right to use private property. We disagree with the attempts to gain control of our farmland, our beaches and the sea we live on. We demand sovereignty for EU member states. And people, that's why we are standing here, to claim back our European Union. This European Union that was taken from us.
Clear ideas are. What a speech, letting everybody know what we're fighting for regarding the Green Deal, regarding the priority to the members of the EU, fighting the treatments of the Mercosur, and protecting the private property that we all have. So right, thank you very much, Sieta. And as you mentioned, all the guys of the food trucks, very nice food over there, protest is here, join us here to get all the message. Thank you.
Thank you. And the next speaker is Tom van den Driessen. He is the MP, European parliamentarist, and from Belgium, so more than welcome.
Dear farmers, dear concerned citizens, rural Europe is being destroyed. Less, less, less is a signal to the agricultural sector. The draconian green agenda, also known as the Green Deal, has been a disaster for our farmers. The Green Deal is obviously a product of climate hysteria. Elitist politicians are busy with the end of the world, while hard-working people are busy with the end of the month. Farmers live in uncertainty because climate laws become increasingly more strict, more unrealistic, and mainly more absurd. Policymakers, however, are indifferent often their guarantee for their retirement, and they're forced to sell cheap, so it can be wasted on unnecessary nature reservations no one asked for. These operations are criminal. This is what I would call theft, my friends. Every communist revolution starts with the expropriation of farmers. One might ask why this is the case. It is because farmers are hard to control. They are independent, hard-working and self-sufficient entrepreneurs. Despite being only 2% of the population, they produce food for the rest of our society. I repeat, no farmers, no food. It is therefore not surprising that if you want climate rules that control every aspect of life, you target the farmers first. The people, however, realize this, and therefore there is great support for the farmers' protests. The people know the farmers are merely the first victims of the climate madness, after which they will come for us all. I do call it climate madness on purpose. nothing about this Green Deal is actually green. European farmers have to close operations so we can import agricultural production from the other side of the world, where the environment is polluted, climate rules do not exist, and animal rights are merely symbolic. This is not a Green Deal. It's a green scam. We are being fooled. We do not want to be dependent on countries on the other side of the world for our food. Farming, in my opinion, is a sector of strategic value to the nation. It allows us to be self-sufficient. This is why our farmers are crucial for our future. Without farmers, we become dependent on the rest of the world for our food supply. This is why we not only have to save our farming sector, we must also protect it against unfair competition. This is why I say no to the EU The forgotten people had enough. We are sending a clear message to the political elite, a message of resistance and a message of hope. We have had enough. Enough of this climate madness. Enough of their arrogance. Enough of the political elites telling us what to do, how we should live and how we should run our farms. The people are rising up. Election day will be the day of reckoning. The people will take back control. We want our freedoms back. We want our way of life back. We want our countries back. No more Green Deal. No more climate madness. No more EU SSR. No more Ursula von der Leyen. So get out and vote. Use your power as a citizen. A new dawn is upon us. I thank you all.
Yeah! Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Wow, great
Thank you for this emotional.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Listen, Farmers for Europe, in all the country members, we've been calling all the politicians in our country that are going to give them the opportunity to come here and defend their positions and to be aware of the similar problems that all the farming, all the primary sector have, for later on having to know the specific solutions. The answers we get are three. The ones who never...
First time that you came to make your voices heard here in the center of power of the EU, of misuse of EU power. We know that in different countries, farmers are confronted with different problems. But since a couple of years, you have now understood, all the farmer organizations, that the one responsible entity, the common denominator between all the farmers' problems of farmers all over Europe is called the EU. The EU in Brussels, right here. You have understood this, and you have understood that you need to overcome, we need to overcome together the national differences that we might have, the way that the EU is trying to play out France against Italy, or Italy against Germany, or Holland against Belgium. No, we know the problems come from Brussels. And what are the problems that you all share? You share the unfair competition that you are being subjected to by importations coming from the other side of the globe, respecting none of the quality, the social and hygienic measures that are imposed upon you. Secondly, you are being totally swamped by administrative problems. You need to obey the rules for this, rules for that, and rules for the other. And thirdly, we have extremist ecologists. Exactly. So as we stand here today, the week less than a week before the EU citizens are going to vote, I stand here, yes, as a politician, but as an outgoing politician, but more as an EU citizen. You have demonstrated your convictions. You have told people what is at stake. At stake is the future of feeding the European people. Now, we can demonstrate all we like. We can come to Brussels all we like. We can help you block roads, bridges, all we like. There is but one moment when people hold power, and that is when they hold the ballot paper in their hands. So I am not going to speak here for any particular party. I'm just saying, vote out those who are responsible for having put us and put you in this horrible situation. They need to go home. We need to have politicians here in Brussels that will defend the interests of the European peoples and that will defend the interests of our fabulous farmers. You will always be able to count on me, and yes, in France, we are going to massively vote in favor of our farmers and preserving the agricultural exceptions that each of the nation states have. Good luck.
We hebben weer te maken met de trekkers, want het is echt geweldig de opkomst die er is en hoeveel trekkers er hier staan vandaag. Daar wil ik eerst mee beginnen. Dan ga ik nou verder in het Engels, maar daar wou ik het even gezegd hebben. Hello everybody. I'm honored to speak to you to the first demonstration of Farmers for Europe. I'm happy that you're here with so many people. We are the combined forces of farming Europe. Not well-paid politicians, but real farmers with their hands in the dirt and their boots on the ground. We have sparked the fire inside the hearts of farmers and civilians. We have risen among the ranks of politics and influenced media around the globe. The woke 2030 agenda is not our agenda, and also not the agenda of most Europeans. We, the farmers of Europe, are one with the European people. They need us 3 times a day, and we need them. Otherwise, we can close our business. The people of Europe know this. We are strongly connected. It's important that we build a strong alliance throughout Europe, because COPA is not fulfilling our demands. COPA are the old politics, which are way too connected with the people in power. This way, other interests are fulfilled, instead of taking care of our needs. In the whole of Europe, we have seen that people stood firm behind the farmers. The media tried to write us down to the ground with our view. All politicians should think about this, instead of worrying about their seat in parliament. They are there to serve us, at least that's how it's supposed to be. But I think that they have long forgotten this. This week is EU elections. It is extremely important to go and vote. We have seen in the Netherlands that things can change. Not everything is solved in once, and it's like an oil tanker. It's hard to change course, but we managed. Now we must change the course of a supertanker, the EU Parliament. We can do it, but only together. In recent years, we see that based on models, we cannot use our private property the way we used to be. There is too much legislation coming from Brussels that makes our property useless. Also, a lot of paperwork is attached with it. They tell us that they want small-scale production, but in reality, they force us with this regulation all our farms to grow, because we are living in a different economic reality than politicians are in. When politicians make rules, they create work. They don't have to work overtime. No, they just hire more people. Then they need more money, so they raise the taxes. End of story. On a farm it works different. You have more work with papers, you need to hire someone to do it because you already work overtime. Your government doesn't bring more money because prices don't rise. So you are losing. Or you lose money and go bankrupt and your neighbor will buy your farm. This way we get less farms every year and farms get bigger. An animal is nature. And we, the farmers of Europe, are the guardians of nature and civilization as we know it. For everybody in politics that thinks that after elections they can forget about our needs, I have an unpleasant surprise. This demo is not an end of an era. This demo is the start of a European cooperation among farmers that will influence future politics. We will grow together, we will dominate media and social media, we will influence on elections, and we will push hard on politicians which will follow the wrong agenda. After the elections of this week you will see, the victory is ours. And to all of you warriors, the world is yours.
Thank you very much, Mark. Great warrior. He's a great man here. You not only will see walking his tractor, the podium, giving us the speeches, as in the offices, podium, or on the first line, fighting wherever. Thank you. There is a factor. There is a warrior here. Thank you very much, Mark. Great. And now.
Okay, guys, now we have time for 20 minutes. Nice break with our DJ, Martin Leroux.
Now we can go to the food truck now.
20
and tell them
minutes
to
break.
come here. Thank you.
20 minutes break and we're coming back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
slikt al jaren goed, want het zit hem in het bloed. En zien gaat hij even leren of het moet. En we zien nog niet weten, de enige tevreden. Het giet van de gezondheid van de vee. Het is totaal overbodig en geef het nou eens toe. No farmers, no food. No farmers, no food. No farmers, no food.
We got married in a beaver, hotter than a pepper sprout. We've been talking about Jackson ever since the fire went out. I'm going to Jackson. I'm gonna mess around. Yeah, I'm going to Jackson. Look out, Jackson Town. We'll go on down to Jackson. Go ahead and wreck your head. Go play your dead music from the sail there goes Jackson. Don't comb your hair.
And then with a slow ball, Jackson.
See if
Well, I breathe in the night city.
Hi lads, hi everybody. Hope you have a good break at the food trucks, healthy food trucks here. Please rejoin us to continue the speeches. Many interesting ones that will follow. Please join us here at the stage to continue with the speeches. Thank you. Benedict Science is a science expert on chemistry that will tell us with the situations we have with all these regulations and the difficulties the food industry, so that the primary sector is going through. Please welcome Dr. Science.
Good afternoon, welcome back. The Green Deal of the European Union is failing and is discriminating when it comes to agriculture and farmers. The Green Deal would be Europe's response to the challenges of the future related to the environment, nature, sustainability,
From Poland. Hello, farmers from Romania. And hello, farmers from Spain. And all the other farmers from the rest of Europe. The European Union makes work of farmers everywhere in Europe impossible. It's even worse than that. The European Union makes the right to exist for farmers everywhere in Europe impossible. The triggers vary across Europe, but the problem is everywhere the same. In Brussels and in our capitals, bureaucrats have decided that we are living the wrong way. That everything must change, every aspect of our lives. The way we work, the way we live, the way we travel, and the way we eat. There is a gigantic gap between the vast majority of the people and the urban academic ruling class. I call them the climate communists. These climate communists manage politics but security. We should never become dependent on other parts of the world for our food supply, because then we will end up in chaos and in wasteland. The European Union was founded to improve people's lives. And that's where it has to start today, improving people's lives. And that's why the anti-farmers policy must be stopped. Not the farmers must be cancelled. The only thing that has to be cancelled is the Green Deal. Because farmers are way more important than politicians. Much more important than the bureaucrats here in Brussels. We don't need Brussels bureaucrats, but we desperately need our farmers. No farmers, no food, no future. My final message to everyone, go vote. Go vote. We need all the EU critical voices to reverse what has been damaged the last 5 years. And don't decide based on what they promise you. Decide based what they have done for you over the last year.
Next days with our vote, knowing which are the ones that really will defend us. Go on board on these elections. Thank you very much.
Okay, and the next point in our schedule is Romanian Association, APP. Yeah, more than welcome, guys.
Bună ziua, Bruxelles!
Bonjour Bruxelles!
Bună ziua, Olanda!
Bonjour Hollanda! Holland!
Bună ziua, Italia!
Bonjour Italy!
Bună ziua, Franța!
Bonjour France!
Bună ziua, Europa!
Bonjour toute l'Europe! Hello everybody! All farmers present here.
Numele meu este Andruș Dănuț.
Their name is Andruș Dănuț.
Și reprezint fermierii din România.
And he represents
Dobra, co, zbieramy się?
the most part of the Romanian farmers.
Na pewno, tak? Masz potwierdzenie, że...
Vă doriți ca casa dumneavoastră să rămână a dumneavoastră? Yes or not?
A to idziemy pod parlament?
Dați-vă mâna!
Give your...
Dispare viața!
The life disappears.
Să lăsăm ura?
Let get around. Let give up the hate.
Să întindem mâna tuturor națiunilor?
Give the hand all the nations in Europe.
Și să spunem stop Green Deal!
And to stop Green Deal.
Stop Mercosur!
Stop Mercosur.
Stop Ursula!
Stop Ursula.
Pleacă acasă, lasă Europa liberă!
Change your mind or go home.
Vreau să-mi cresc copiii în țara mea!
I want to grow up my children in my country.
Vreau să trăiesc acolo unde m-am născut!
I want to live in my own country where I was born.
Pentru că sunt mândru că sunt român.
Because I'm proud, I'm Romanian.
Sunt mândru că umblu în portul național.
I'm proud that I'm close. I used to be in clothes, national clothes.
Și sunt mândru că trăiesc în Europa.
And I'm proud I'm living in Europe.
Europa pentru europeni.
The Europe for European people.
Forever!
My name is Maria Alexandru Adelin, and I prepared some words for you here. There was protest in Romania. Romanian farmers drew attention to the massive grains import from Ukraine. The fact that many of them remain illegal and fraudulent in Romania, generating the phenomenon of evasion and putting pressure on the grain market in Romania. You know, Romania is close of the Ukraine, of the war, in the neighborhood. Also, the farmers did not and do not agree with the establishment of Green Deal measure, and in the current context of the war of European Union borders, this system must be suspended, at least during the financial strain caused by the war. Attention should be drawn to the fact that the rules imposed of European farmers to comply with the reduced level of pesticides and chemical fertilizers do not exist in the other agricultural practices of countries outside of European Union from which grain comes to us. For this restriction we receive some subsidies, but they are not covered whether cereal products from outside are allowed to enter the European market. In addition, the granting of these subsidies from the beginning of European Union at the same time as the imposition of its restriction in the grain production process are some rules like a game that has its... Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to these Romanian guys. Thank you. Thank you to these proud Europeans.
Thank you, all of you. Come together.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're proud of you as well. You proud Romanians and proud Europeans. As the schedule we had for today, now will be the time of our special guest, which was invited not only to her email, but as well with a physical letter handed on to her team. This was Ursula von der Leyen, who obviously didn't show up. This has been the answer we have received from her. This is the reason why we did this gathering. As I mentioned before, to give everyone opportunity to express the ideas they have for the next years of ruling Europe. We have the ones who didn't answer, which was an answer, the ones who said no, and the ones who really came. The thing is, the time of Ursula needs to be fulfilled. So I'm going to take a few minutes to tell you a story we're going through, going about. The situation I wanted to go through is to try to explain the meaning of a word that doesn't exist in English, which is aforado. Aforado are all those politicians, maybe sometimes the police, which is people that are above the law and cannot be called on a general court, but on a Supreme Court. In the whole Europe, there's only 25 aforados. In Spain, in my country, there's 250,000 aforados. So what means with this is these people, as soon as they get corrupt or they get in trouble, it won't be on a police station when you can denounce what they've done. You have to go on to the Supreme Court. In Spain, when in 1985 we joined the European Union and we signed the letter to join in, the Supreme Court of Spain of 20 members were 12 elected by judges and the other 8, and then the European Commission and the European Parliament frozen the funds for this country until they got sorted this rule of law situation. We've been denouncing it in Spain to the European Union, to the Parliament and the Commission several times. But the way this Commissioner, Ursula von der Leyen, is elected, she has the opportunity to give back light and truth and law to Spain, but she's looking aside and really doesn't want to face that problem. Again, as we just heard, next days we can change that. We citizens can change that with our votes, with the truth we got from the science that lies on our hands. We can read a newspaper telling one news on one color and then read another newspaper which has the same news on a different color. And that's the confusion. But today, with the internet and the cellular phones on our hands, we can go directly to the news and see the images and understand and see where is the truth. Citizens of Europe, farmers of Europe, fighters of Europe, fight for the truth, go on both next days and then make Europe great again. Thank you very much.
Ragazzi di Farmer Defense Force che ci hanno dato la fiducia per una grande collaborazione. Oggi siamo qui per difendere il nostro lavoro, ma non solo. Siamo qui per difendere quella passione che ci hanno trasmesso i nostri padri, i nostri nonni. Quella passione ci porta giorno dopo giorno a produrre cibo per tutte le nostre tavole. Noi agricoltori italiani vogliamo riportare il nostro lavoro al centro delle politiche nazionali ed europee. Farm to Fork, Green Deal, Nutri-Score sono 3 delle tante normative fatte su basi ambientaliste e animaliste senza conoscere davvero le realtà del nostro mondo. Fin troppo la comunità europea ha distrutto le nostre fattorie, riducendo gli agricoltori a piccoli schiavi e dipendenti delle grandi multinazionali. Ursula e i suoi amici con belle cravatte hanno cercato in qualsiasi modo di renderci schiavi, ma noi non molliamo. Il prezzo dei nostri prodotti è la base dei progetti per le nostre aziende e per le nostre famiglie per continuare a vivere liberi ed orgogliosi della nostra bandiera. Mai nessuno potrà continuare a levarci i nostri terreni e farci chiudere per pure speculazioni. La prossima settimana si decide il futuro dell'Europa, convinti che fino ad oggi è stato in quei palazzi ha prodotto solo negatività per noi agricoltori ma anche per tutta la popolazione. L'Europa ha conosciuto 2 grandi guerre e chi è riuscito a garantire cibo per tutta la popolazione? Chi ha sfamato le famiglie povere senza cibo? Non c'è agricoltore senza artigiano, non c'è ristoratore senza il consumatore e non ci saranno nemmeno più le grandi. Oggi vi riunite con i nostri trattori insieme al popolo per il presente e per il futuro. Vogliamo una politica e a quelle associazioni che ci stanno criticando in questo momento, mandatele a fanculo. Uniti si vince.
Hi everyone, thank you for being there. There was Salvatore Pais, the president of our association. And I'm Guido Marini, a president of the Lazio region. And I will translate the speech. Welcome farmers. Thank you everybody for being here. And thank everybody who helped for the realization of the manifestation. Thanks FDF guys who has trust in us for a big new collaboration. We are here today to defend our work, but not only for this. We are here to defend the passion for work that our parents and grandparents gave us. The passion that make us producing milk for a lot of people. We, agricoltori italiani, want to bring back our work in the center of Italian and the European politics. Farm to Fork, Green Deal, Nutri-Score are only three of many regulations made on ecologist and animal activist basis without knowing anything about our work and the world. European community wants to don't believe in people who are in great European buildings and makes wrong decisions for farmers and all the population still today. There were two wars in Europe, and who was producing milk for everybody? Who feeds all families, poor people, without a meal? There is no agriculture without farmers. There is no market without customers. And also big lobbies will die if people lose all their money. We have the duty of giving a strong signal today with all people and tractors for our present and future. We would like to have a politics that isn't just about white collars, but about dirty hands, dirty of our work, and the work that they have to do in the future to return living with the dignity and wake up going to work with a smile on the face. They accuse us of polluting our fields, your cities and skies. They tell us to produce less, and we have to face an unfair competition with no limits. They want us to be part of Europe, but the wrong Europe. The one who had to guarantee a fair wage for all citizens instead of create contrast among citizens. And then we are here without every syndicate, without politics, because we are not helped by anyone. There are European farmers contrast European farmers only.
Two more speakers, but it's getting a little bit dull, I think. So I have a question. After the protest, after the last speaker, should we drive to the parliament with all the tractors, yes or no? So it's a deal.
Thank you, Rose.
And now we have a speaker from Spain, Lola Gomez from Platforma 6, great warrior of Spanish agriculture. Lola, stage is yours.
She's going to talk in Spanish, so I will try to translate. Good afternoon.
Buenas tardes, Bélgica. Buenas tardes, colegas.
Good afternoon, Belgium. Good afternoon, colleagues.
Buenas tardes, España.
Good afternoon, Spain.
Quiero agradecer a todos los españoles que euro a euro han hecho lo posible para que 6F esté aquí hoy con los colegas agricultores y ganaderos independientes de la Unión Europea.
We want to thank all the Spanish agricultures that euro by euro have been supporting the possibility of being represented here with all the European farmers. Thank you very much.
Quiero hacer también un agradecimiento. El tema es de todos igual.
Each colleague have spoken on its own language about its own problem, but we realizing that each one problem are similar to each one of us.
Todos estamos de acuerdo en que hay que derogar definitivamente esa maldita ley del Green Deal.
We all agree that we have to derogate this dreadful law of the Green Deal.
Venimos a exigirles que cumplan la ley de preferencia comunitaria.
We came to denounce to the Parliament to really do the preference law to the community member states.
Ningún país fuera de la zona euro puede venir a sustituirnos mientras que nuestra carne y nuestros productos están bajo precio y tirados por los suelos.
None of the no-euro countries are allowed to be selling its products in the European Union. On the meantime, the European Union members still have goods of meat, fruit, to be sold on the community.
Nosotros somos todos hermanos, agricultores y ganaderos. Sabemos lo que es trabajar la tierra y nuestros animales. No estamos en contra de los compañeros.
Is telling us to do here in the EU, unless there is an unfair situation between them and us.
Como hija de ganadero, sobrina de ganadero, prima de ganaderos y como ganadera, digo alto y claro a los señores políticos del Parlamento Europeo: ¡no Mercosur!
As well, being family of farmers, daughter of a farmer, cousins with farmers, aunts with farmers, knowing very well what's the situation and what's the farming like, I say no to the Mercosur treatment to all the parliamentary members.
6F bloqueó el puerto de Algeciras en España. Nosotros hemos destapado que Marruecos riega sus tierras, sus frutas con aguas fecales para enfermarnos a todos. Eso se lo permiten desde la Unión Europea.
6F platform reaches the south border of Europe in Spain, Algeciras, to open the lorries of the products that were coming from Morocco. It's not that we throw the products away, but we took it to the laboratories and we find out how those strawberries were driven with fecal waters, which is something obviously not allowed, that at the end will cause disease.
Nos están haciendo trabajar a pérdidas. No quieren estar aquí porque olemos a campo y a estiércol de animales, pero sí quieren nuestros euros. Para nosotros es muy difícil llevar un euro de estos a nuestra cartera. Nos están obligando a trabajar a pérdidas.
We're working on losses on our businesses. We are fighting every day to get our business running. But they don't want us because we smell fields, we smell animals. But they really want our notes and our money. That's something that they really want on their taxes.
Nuestros compañeros y colegas franceses todas las semanas se están suicidando 2 y 3 porque se están arruinando. No podemos permitir que ningún agricultor ni ganadero se suicide porque nos estén arruinando.
There are very dramatic situations, fellow farmers. We got news on how in France each day 2 French farmers commit suicides because of the situation of the businesses, and this is something that us or nobody should allow.
Colegas, no sobramos los agricultores y ganaderos de la Unión Europea, sobran los políticos de la Unión Europea.
We all know, fellow colleagues, there's no enough farmers on the EU. The thing is, there are far too much politicians in the EU. That's the real in front of all of you.
Esta gorra la llevó un niño en la posguerra de España. Esta gorra la llevó un niño que solo quiso estar con animales y ser pastor de 1000 ovejas. Mi padre hizo su patrimonio, crió 4 guisos y pagó su casa. Hoy en día no podemos vivir con 1000 ovejas, tenemos que trabajar para ellas.
This cap was worn by a kid that after the Spanish War started to do farming and then reaches 1,000 heads of sheep, and then he developed a business to run with his daughters and his family. But nowadays 1,000 sheep are not enough, and we have to work very tough, but not for our sheep, but for the politicians and the taxes that they are obliged us to pay.
Estos políticos que nos están desgobernando y asfixiando en el Europarlamento están planeando Ursula von der Leyen, Macron y Sánchez de España una guerra en Europa.
We have heard not only from Ursula von der Leyen, as well as his colleagues on the European Parliament, as well as the Prime Minister of Spain, Pedro Sánchez, warning us that might be a war in Europe.
No podemos permitir que nos lleven a una guerra entre hermanos. Eso ya lo vivió mi... Pero hablamos el mismo idioma todos. Polonia, Italia, Alemania, Bélgica,
9 of April.
Holanda, España, Grecia. Todos hablamos el mismo idioma. Nos están asfixiando, nos llevan a la ruina.
Then 9 of April, this lady came to Brussels, not ashamed of not knowing English. That doesn't stop me to travel here. And I found a bunch of Europeans from several countries, Ireland, Germany, Belgium, Germany, Bulgaria, France, Holland, that we all spoke the same language. We were able to understand each other because we have all similar problems.
Colegas, es el momento nuestro ahora de ir para allá y coger las riendas de nuestro sector primario europeo. Somos nosotros los que llenamos los lineales y damos de comer a esos gandules del Europarlamento.
Fellow colleagues, it's now the time for us to rule, because it is us who fulfill the shelves of the supermarkets, who fulfill the fridges of the citizens, who fulfill the storage rooms of all the Europeans. We have to vote and get control out of this situation.
El mismo mensaje que os pido a vosotros y os mando a vosotros, se lo mando a mis compañeros de España. Unión, unión y fuerza, y a por ellos.
Same message I'm delivering to you and what I'm delivering to Spain is union.
Y lo vamos a conseguir unidos.
This is only one battle. The war continues. We have a great job in front of us, and just united we will prevail.
Ayer a los colegas holandeses la policía los denunció por entrar aquí con sus tractores.
People from Holland were fined by the police yesterday when we were trying to get inside Brussels.
El siguiente paso que va a dar 6F es ir junto con Holanda al Tribunal de Justicia Europeo, a Luxemburgo.
Next step is 6F from Spain will join Farmers Defence Force from Holland, going to Luxembourg to the Justice Court in order to denounce the situation we have with the police, with the Netherlands as well as with the Spaniards.
Vamos a pedirle al Tribunal de Justicia Europeo que intervenga en esas denuncias y esos palos y agresiones que se han llevado mis compañeros de España por salir a defender sus tierras y sus animales.
We will ask in Luxembourg the Justice Court to really take over the situation of the beating we were suffering by the police in Spain.
Muchas gracias. Estoy muy feliz de ver la unión que tenemos aquí. Lo vamos a conseguir. Gracias, papá. Y esto se lo dedico a todos los delegados nacionales de 6F, a todos los coordinadores y en especial a mi hija. Vas a seguir comiendo lo que cultivó tu abuelo con sus manos.
It's very sad to hear how the police is operating in Spain. But I was shocked because I came off stage and the police asked me, actually they forced me to say that it's not allowed to drive to the parliament with the tractors. And the weather is beautiful. Thank you, everybody.
And the next on our stage is Gidon van Mayen from the Forum for Democracy from the Netherlands.
Okay,
It's yours.
here we are. Please go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, farmers from all over Europe, I can't hear you. Farmers! Thank you very much for being here today. We are here together for a very important reason: to protect our farms and our future. And I am honored to speak to you today as we unite in our fight against rules that of nature, and we want a healthy planet for our children. But the current rules, they are wrong and they are misleading. They do not save nature. They push the farmers off their land, and this is happening all over Europe. And these rules, they are made to help big companies and a powerful elite, not to help the farmers who have worked their land for generations. The Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations and groups like the World Economic Forum, they say they want sustainability, but in fact they support the interests of big industries and they take the land of the farmers. Everything shows that these rules are not really for protecting nature. The so-called SDGs of the United Nations and the WEF are rules that are part of an Agenda 2030. Think about the plan to build millions of new homes by 2030, mainly for immigrants who are not even in Europe yet. And think about the plan to install thousands of big wind turbines. Traditional diehards, because they are part of our culture and our identity. And we must protect our way of life and the farmers who provide us with natural and healthy food. And the EU follows these goals and forces these rules on us. And farmers are standing in the way of this Agenda 2030. Exactly. And historically, we have seen that authoritarian regimes often target the farming community to consolidate their power. Because farmers are strong, and farmers are independent, and farmers are not easy to control. And more importantly, as long as farmers control the food supply, a tyrannical regime can never totally master the population. And the destruction of the farming community has always been an important means to suppress and control entire populations. And these EU rules, they are not just harmful, they are anti-democratic. In a real democracy, the people should decide their policies and not these unelected EU officials. Rules from Brussels, they take away the power of individual nations and the rights of their citizens. And we must fight this top-down approach and protect our right to make our own decisions. Yeah. And the real solution is to support. Ladies and gentlemen, the stakes are high. Our farming heritage, our food security, and our rural communities are at risk. And we must stand together, united in our case, and make sure our voices are heard very loudly and very clearly. Yes! We need to expose the lies and the hidden agendas behind these rules. We need to show the world that we are not just fighting for our farms, but for the future of our food, for the health of our planet and the rights of communities to live and work in harmony with nature. And we must make sure that the next generation, and look at these young men, we must make sure that these young men can live their dream and become farmers too. Thank you very much for your solidarity, because together we are strong and together we will win. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guillaume. Thank you, Guillaume. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Well, one last thing. I don't speak Dutch, but yesterday I learned the eine Hand was the eine Hand, meaning like, if you ask me for help, I will help you. And then later on, I know that you will help me too. That's the way we should be united. So let's go for that unity and let's help each other. Thank you very much.
Also one responsible for the biggest protest in the German.
Big clap to the German
Thank you,
friends,
sir,
fathers.
guys.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Ja, hallo an alle Deutschen, der ganzen LSV und auch die freien Bauern, die hier in Brüssel sind. Wir sind heute aufgetreten hier, um in Brüssel gehört zu werden. Wir haben im Vorfeld versucht, die Frau von der Leyen und ihre Amse Agrarausschuss CDU, einer von denen auf die Bühne zu bringen. Es ist uns nicht gelungen, aber die schreiben von der CDU, sie wären traurig, sie haben so wichtige Termine, sie können hier nicht auftreten. Das wollte ich nur kurz sagen. Jetzt kommt unser Georg, der wird euch noch ein paar andere Worte sagen. Vielen Dank.
So the second German part, it's in English, because we are international farmers, and that's what we try to be in English. My name is Georg Stiegler. I'm a farmer from Germany and one of the co-founders to the next generation, like my parents did to me. The reasons for the demonstrations varied in agriculture, but in practice they open the doors for industrial food production. People in urban areas often imagine that the food production, such as meat, cereals, vegetables, is straightforward as manufacturing a machine or a car in the workshop. But it's not that way. Every farmer knows these fields, the animal, the region, the weather. And so it's not possible to make a farm production in a big industrial rate. You have to know your soil. 50 to 60 years ago, many people personally know a farmer, or at least know who did. Agriculture was transparent without large programs, unlike other industry. However, the constant loss of value and the resulting need of rationalization, increased efficiency, have drastically reduced the number of farms. If nothing changes, this trend will continue. And that's a big reason why we are here. We want to stay. European farmers come here together in Brussels to say enough is enough. We cannot be played against each other. We are now on a big European platform, and we know the neighbors and the other countries we are indirectly about. Furthermore, we demand effective external protection from the European Union against the world market. It's not in the interest of further generations to transport the food around the globe. The European Union favorable position allows us to produce enough healthy food. The tax burden must also become uniform in the European Union. And of course, in the look from a German, the aligning of the burdens for the farmers should not on the complicated and expensive version, like our version. Es hieß gerade, das nochmal kurz als deutsche Zusammenfassung, würde ich gerne nochmal machen. Und einer der Initiatoren in Sachsen mit, den Hof mein Bruder und mir vermacht haben, hoffe ich unbedingt, diesen Hof weitergeben zu können. Aber weit weg voneinander, jedes Land hat seine Gründe. Aber über die Zeit haben wir festgestellt, dass jedes Land für sich eigentlich nur Symptome bekämpft hat und nie an der Wurzel angesetzt hat. Die Europäische Union mit ihrer Gleichmacherei versucht immer wieder, vornrum bäuerliche Landwirtschaft zu unterstützen. Aber was in echt passiert ist, dass industrieller Produktion Tür und Tor geöffnet wird und Auflagen geschaffen werden, die ein normaler bäuerlicher Betrieb gar nicht mehr stemmen kann. Ein großes Problem ist die Landwirtschaft, die Produktion wird von Leuten aus der Stadt so gesehen, dass man ein Stück Fleisch oder ein Getreide, Gemüse einfach so herstellen kann, wie in der Industriehalle ein Autoverband läuft oder eine Maschine. Aber das geht so eben nicht. Wir brauchen die Bauern, die ihre Felder kennen, die Nachbarschaft, das Wetter, die Besonderheiten. Und ohne diese Kenntnis der Region wird es nicht möglich sein, nachhaltig die Teller aller Europäer zu füllen. Das führt uns zum nächsten Problem. 50, 60 Jahre zurück hat jeder oder viele einen Landwirt, einen Bauern gekannt und durchsichtig wie kein anderer Wirtschaftszweig das jemals gewesen war. Jeder konnte beim Stammtisch seinen Bauern fragen, du, was hast du da gemacht? Gab Antwort und Das war eine Direkttransparenz, die ihresgleichen sucht. Das ist jetzt das Problem durch die Rationalisierung und Effizienzsteigerung. Es gibt Orte, je nachdem, wir bleiben jetzt in Deutschland, wo wir in Deutschland hingucken, ist das Gefälle da. Wenn wir anrufen, wenn die Verwaltung von dem Betrieb in irgendwo sitzt oder gar kein Betrieb mehr da ist, es findet einfach keine regionale Wertschöpfung mehr statt. Und auch ein Riesenthema, die ganzen Pachten gehen sonst wohin und bleiben nicht mehr in der Region. Jeder Pächter, der die Pacht bekommt, bezahlt davon einen Dachdecker, einen Maler, einen Fliesenleger, alle Handwerker. Und wenn die Pacht weg ist, dann bleibt das Geld auch nicht mehr in der Region und der ländliche Raum stirbt. Der Grund, warum die europäischen Bauern hier zusammengekommen sind, ist, weil wir eingesehen haben, die Länder für sich können nicht gegen die EU eine Lösung Land für Land erzeugen. Es geht nur noch so, dass wir europäischen Landwirte an einen Strang ziehen. Und wir haben es gesehen, die Länder intern sind vernetzt und können innerhalb von Stunden Demonstrationen auf die Beine stellen. Und wir werden das sehen, so wie die Vernetzung hier stattgefunden hat, wird dies auch für die Zukunft möglich sein, dass dies aber europaweit funktioniert. Wir werden sehen, es sind Wahlen, wir hoffen, liebe EU, lasst euch sagen, wir sind schon da. Zutaten. Und wenn sich da jeder fragen, ob dieses Produkt gebraucht wird und ob es unbedingt gesund ist, sonst ist die Steuerlast für die Bauern gar nicht mehr zu stemmen. Wir haben die Möglichkeit, eine friedliche Gesellschaft zu ernähren und wir haben auch alle Möglichkeiten dazu. Lasst uns die Zukunft gestalten. Danke.
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön. Thank you guys.
Unsere polnischen Kollegen. Polaka Rodenki. Wir sind hier, deutsche Bauern, um euch und uns zu zeigen, dass wir alle die gleiche Meinung haben. Ohne uns würde es schon längst viel mehr Verteilungskriege geben. Wir sind diejenigen, die überall in Europa alles satt machen. Und wir sind diejenigen, die jeden Tag den Kopf hinhalten, wo andere nur in den Supermarkt gehen müssen. Wir sind die Macht in Europa. Wenn wir nicht wollen, bewegt sich kein Stein, kein PKW und kein LKW auf Europas Straßen. Zusammenhalten, egal wo wir sind, ob wir in Spanien sind oder in Frankreich oder in Polen. Wir sind die Bauern, wir haben die Macht und wir müssen den Leuten draußen zeigen, dass wir diejenigen sind, die einzig und allein für die Ernährung Europas zuständig sind und nicht Mercosur. Lasst uns
Not least, Bart Dickens from Farmers Defence from Forest from Belgium.
Here the Belge, thank you.
Good afternoon. Today, before we begin our discussion, I would like to ask everyone to observe a moment of silence to honor and remember the farmers who have tragically taken their own lives. These farmers have been overwhelmed by the excessive regulation and over-regulation imposed by various governments, including the European Union. These policies have made it impossible for them to see a sustainable future in farming. As we remember them, we also extend our deepest sympathies and support to the families left behind, who must now continue their lives and work on the farm without their loved ones. let us take a moment to reflect our their struggles and pay our respect. Silence. Dank u voor de stilte. Vandaag wil ik met u spreken over de ingrijpende gevolgen van de Green Deal van de Europese Unie voor onze landbouw. Hoewel de Green Deal is bedoeld om klimaatverandering tegen te gaan en duurzaamheid te bevorderen, blijkt de werkelijkheid voor veel boeren een stuk minder rooskleurig. De Green Deal legt een zware last op de schouders van onze landbouwsector. Strengere milieuregels, vermindering van subsidies en toenemende bureaucratie maken het boerenleven vrijwel onhoudbaar. Deze overregulering heeft niet alleen economische consequenties, maar ook verwoestende psychologische effecten, zoals we hebben gezien, dagelijks te maken hebben. Dit leidt tot regelgeving die in de praktijk onwerkbaar is en boeren dwingt om hun bedrijven te sluiten. Het beleid dat is uitgewerkt door Ursula von der Leyen en Frans Timmermans is waanzin. Dit zijn geen goed bedoelde praktijken. Het is duidelijk dat dit beleid de dood van vele boeren op hun geweten heeft. Een regelgeving, hoewel wellicht goed bedoeld op papier, negeert de realiteit van de landbouwpraktijken en de levens van degenen die ons voedsel processeren. Daarnaast is het Vlaamse stikstofakkoord, dat een bijzonder zwaar effect heeft op de Belgische boeren. Dit akkoord, uitgewerkt door N-VA en Zoehaldemier, lijkt een kabinet te hebben dat voor 80% bestaat uit natuurpunters. Mensen die niet liever doen dan de landbouw weg te krijgen. Het doel lijkt te zijn om de landbouw volledig weg te krijgen. Het akkoord, bedoeld om de stikstofuitstoot te verminderen, heeft geleid tot nog meer restricties en onzekerheden voor onze boeren. Velen voelen zich onder druk gezet en in de steek gelaten door een beleid dat te ver doorslaat in zijn ambitie om milieudoeleinden te halen. Zonder voldoende rekening te houden met de praktische haalbaarheid en de sociale impact. Een ander probleem dat dringend aandacht vereist is het uitkeren van landbouwsubsidies aan natuurorganisaties. Deze organisaties worden overgesubsidieerd en kopen landbouwgrond op om deze vervolgens om te vormen tot natuurgebieden. Door middel van kaalkappen van bomen, verheiding en vernatting. Deze gronden met subsidie gekocht worden vervolgens. We hebben een echt beleid nodig dat gebaseerd is op gezond boerenverstand. En dat boeren ondersteunt in plaats van hen te verlammen met verstrikkende regelgeving. Wij als landbouwers begrijpen de noodzaak van duurzaamheid en milieubeheer. Maar we moeten ook erkend worden als de hoeder van het land. Die met zorg en toewijding werken om voedsel te produceren voor onze gemeenschappen. De huidige trend van overregulering moet worden gestopt. Er moet een nieuwe balans gevonden worden, die zowel het milieu als landbouw respecteert. Industrie wordt vaak voorgetrokken boven landbouw, terwijl de uitstoot van industrie ook een enorme impact heeft. Wij, boeren, hebben totaal niets tegen industrie. Maar er moet een evenwicht zijn. De landbouw en industrie moeten op gelijke hoogte getrokken worden en behandeld worden om een duurzame toekomst te waarborgen. Het is duidelijk dat het huidige Europese, Vlaamse en Belgische beleid zeer zwaar gefaald heeft. De partijen verantwoordelijk zijn voor deze desastreuze koers moeten aftreden. We hebben behoefte aan een frisse wind. Een nieuw beleid dat de werkelijke noden. De huidige politieke elite heeft ons in de steek gelaten. En het is tijd voor verandering. Het is tijd dat onze stemmen worden gehoord. In politieke arena. We moeten pleiten voor het beleid dat realistisch en uitvoerbaar is. Dat levensvatbaarheid van boerenbedrijven waarborgt. en de waarde van lokaal geproduceerde, duurzame landbouwproducten erkent. Beste mensen, laten we samenwerken aan een toekomst waarin boeren weer kunnen bloemen voor het luisteren. Dank u wel, all for one, en word zeker nog lid van FDF, want wij blijven strijden voor jullie. Beste mensen, veilig thuis.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you very much, guys, for being here, for supporting us. Thank you for all your efforts you make to come here, to show the unity, to show solidarity, that we together, farmers, can make the changes, can change the world. The food security is very, very important. It's the message not only to farmers, but all the citizens. Think wisely when you're going to put your vote during the coming election to the European Parliament. Think who's supporting European safety, food safety. Think about this and vote wisely. And thank you for all your effort and for all the farmers on the tractors. Some of them, they make such a long distance to be here with us. So thanks for that.
From Carolina and I myself want to thank you all, your assistance today, all that effort you made, all the speeches we have and all the arguments, not just for politicians as well as farmers, to have a good decision of what we voted and to spread the knowledge we gained today to all those who couldn't came or didn't want to create it. Please help it to recover and leave the fields as much clean as possible.
Yes, please.
And help us, to clean up the space as giving an example of how we really want and how we really know how to.
Thank you, FDF. Thank you, the Sound Factory. Stay a little bit and play some songs from Europe, Italian, German, Belgium. They came with tractor from Italia. Let's see.